Okay. So, there's a group of remarkable people here on YouTube that are consistently producing amazing film essays. And with Avengers Endgame releasing tomorrow, they had the brilliant idea to come under one banner and all simultaneously release a film essay on one marvelous scene of their choosing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, the brainchild of this idea came from Nando V Movies, one of my favorite channels personally on YouTube, and all the channels under this marvelous scene idea banner, Mr. Sunday Movies, Brown Table, Captain Midnight, High Top Films, Lessons from the Screenplay. So many great channels have all come together. Now, granted, I'm a little bit not disheartened because 800 subs shouldn't be having such high hopes, but, you know, maybe the best Avenger isn't always the first introduced. You know, Captain America is great, so is Iron Man, but as this clip shows, some, you know, are left later.
Come on.
Nando V Movies.
Mr. Lang?
I'm shaking your hand too long. Wow, this is awesome.
Nando V Movies.
I know you too. You're great. Jeez.
Now, something that has surprised me with no end is that no one's talked about Civil War. We've gotten people talking about First Avenger, Winter Soldier, about even Avengers Age of Ultron, but not Civil War. And the fact that one of my favorite moments in the entire MCU was taken by Brown Table, the till the end of the line scene in Winter Soldier, but I guess I just won't be doing that one then. But back to Civil War, this film is literally filled from start to finish with scenes that fit this one marvelous scene idea. Like scenes like Peter Parker's intro, or the Sokovia Accord scene, but there's one scene in particular that I think is so underrated that I just fits this one marvelous scene idea perfectly. Now that scene is Agent Carter's funeral scene. That scene isn't just emotional, it isn't just well shot, with deep meaning. If you know me, I'm a huge music guy, and starting with the music in this scene, with the title card, it sets the tone real quick. That quick-witted Marvel humor shown off amazingly in the after-party scene, that isn't present in this scene. My biggest criticism with Marvel is that they blow off a big impactful moment with a joke. But here, this is 3 minutes of pure, unadulterated, heartfelt drama that is something that's been building since 2011.
Margaret Carter was known to most as a founder of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I just knew her as Aunt Peggy. She had a photograph in her office, Aunt Peggy standing next to JFK. As a kid, that was pretty cool, but it was a lot to live up to. Which is why I never told anyone we were related.
A big reason this character resonated with me so well is that it embodies the entire MCU plot arc for Captain America. It resembles the past, the present, and the future for Captain America. To explain the levity of this scene, let me go back. I've been on a huge binge of watching the entire MCU before Endgame, and oh well did I underappreciate First Avenger. I never used to feel this way with Peggy's funeral scene. It's been a little bit of a oh shit moment on rewatch. Back in First Avenger, we all know that weakling but good-spirited Steve Rogers becomes Captain America to save the day by submerging the plane with missiles into the ice, and is frozen for 70 years. The main plotline in the movie is for Cap to get the confidence in earning that Captain America name to himself. Because to everyone else, he's still that tiny bloke who would jump onto the grenade to save everyone. Peggy later jokingly asks, has he ever talked to a woman before, due to his awkward nature around her? And to that he shares a shy no. She then asks, has he ever danced with a woman before? And again he shares no, saying that he's just waiting for the right partner. Steve then comments that he doesn't even know how to dance to begin with, and wouldn't want to step on anyone's toes. Peggy offers that maybe after all this, that maybe she could teach him how to. This becomes a common thread in the movie, and in future installments. It's quite a beautiful thing, but the impact comes later when Steve never gets the chance to take that offer. Going into Winter Soldier, Steve had nearly lost everything. Peggy's now old and, from what it seems, has dementia, making his visits ever more painful. His platoon, his way of life. The Winter Soldier is all about Steve having to make a choice. Conform to the norm of freedom that now includes having missiles pointed at the globe at all times to keep us safe. Or saying, you move, and taking a firm stand to that way of life. Something they learned from Peggy, that by Civil War becomes ever more important. Bucky also coming back adds a further complication to the mix. And this goes to the credit of the writing behind Captain America. Everything is tied together. Bucky is that last thing he has of the past. In his eyes, he let Bucky die. It's now his responsibility to save him. Now, most good character arcs in film revolve around the protagonist changing. Luke Skywalker starting off as some boy on a farm on a desert planet to learn what it takes to become a Jedi. Bruce Wayne going from a billionaire playboy to bringing justice to his corrupt city. What makes Captain America special is that he's not that in his trilogy. He's a man with a belief. And the villain's main goal across the trilogy is to change the belief of the hero. Red Skull, a futurist that tries to show Cap that America are just as bad as the Nazis, that Hydra is something more, something greater. Cap triumphs and defeats him. Pierce wanted to rule the world through fear as a way of freedom. Again, Cap triumphs and shows that fear isn't a way to enforce freedom. Lastly, Tony Stark, again another futurist, trying to make the Avengers accountable for their actions. Cap disagrees, stating that it's pushing the blame to other people. All three Captain America films attack his core belief of freedom and the differing ways of enforcing it. All things that are blocking freedom from existing in the modern world. All three Captain America villains are characters who try and move his philosophical belief, and this all highlighted in this small 3-minute scene where his world is crumbling before him.
I asked her once how she managed to master diplomacy and espionage in a time when no one wanted to see a woman succeed at either. And she said, compromise where you can. But where you can't, don't. Even if everyone is telling you that something wrong is something right. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree, look them in the eye and say no. You move.
Cap, since coming out of the ice, has had a hard time trusting people. He really doesn't know anyone. The one person he trusted with his life is now gone. If Endgame is to do one thing for Captain America's story arc, is that somehow, after they defeat Thanos through whatever means, Steve, whether it be through being trapped in Reality Stone or through the Time Stone, he's thrown back to Saturday, February 10th, 1945, where Steve is now outside a building, unknown at this point. He walks in slowly, cameras flashing, people laughing. Someone on the mic says in the background, now something a little slower. Steve walked past the crowd, looking nervous. The music fades, and we hear, are you ready for a dance? Cap turns, sees Peggy smiling. Steve says, but I don't know how to. Peggy smiles again and says, let me show you. Film fades to black. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to click like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Wait. What was that?
What was what?
That doesn't answer my question.
What question? Like,
All I wanted to do was ask, can I have a cup of coffee? And then you went and rambled for 10 minutes.
now yeah, I do see that. So,
My cup is still empty. Where's my coffee?
want me to make a cup of coffee now?
Yes, please! Don't talk for 10 minutes.
Just gotta head up.